We're here at the Classic Car Auction section at the Classic Restoration Show at the NEC. I'm here to check out the show, but I can't resist having a look at the cars on auction. And especially when you look at the catalogue, there's some really tempting and interesting cars, like this very bright yellow detomaso. Some of the prices are quite keen as well. But you know what? You should always check out the cars first carefully before considering buying them. Let's have a look at a few things that really have caught my eye and see if they are worth bidding for. So let's in fact check out this bright yellow detomaso Pantera, because you know what, this is a very tempting proposition. It looks fantastic, it's such a cool car, it's very much a car of its day. Now this one is estimated at 50 to 60,000 pounds, or 40 to 50,000 pounds actually, sorry. It's a 1972 detomaso Pantera, and lots of interesting details on here. The interior is fantastic, open gated gearbox, it's got all the romance of a cool Italian car, plus of course a Ford engine, so supposedly it should be reliable. However, when you take a close look at this, there's bubbling on there, there's bubbling on the roof, there are quite a few rust patches on it, there's a few things that don't quite sit right with this car, and even at 40 to 50 grand, say you got it for 40 grand, the reality is you might end up spending another 40 grand to get it sorted, because if the horrors are visible above, what's it going to be like underneath? I've always fancied Ford Capris. They are the British Mustangs, aren't they really? Real British icons, and there's two of them here. Actually, there's quite a few here, but these two caught my eye. This is an older model. This is estimated up to about 25,000 pounds for this car. I love the matte black bonnet on this thing. Looks very cool. But to me, the more car that really I sought after, and actually at one point I was saving up to get one, was actually a 2.8 injection, this later one. This is a 1987 car, one of the last of the line type things. This is estimated at 18 to 23,000 pounds. I've been looking at this one quite closely in the dark blue. It's got an immaculate interior. The bodywork is fine. This is really a good one. Now, another 2.8 that I found here, for example, I do like the color on this one, and this is advertised as estimated as even less, 8 to 10,000 pounds on this one. However, you can see the rust is bubbling up on here, the rust is bubbling up around the aerial, and there's quite a few other patches on it as well. So these are one of those cars where, you know, from a distance, it looks fantastic, but honestly, look at the other ones, pay a bit more, and don't necessarily go for the cheapest one. There's a couple of Quattros here. This one is estimated at just 24 to 28,000 pounds. Of course, these prices are estimated and they may not be what they actually go for in the end, but it's a stunning looking thing. The interior is so clean on it, black leather interior. This car, you could buy that and drive it every day. I've done a review of an Audi Quattro on this channel, go check it out. But this one would be very, very tempting. It looks very clean, no rust on it. That's one of the good ones, I reckon. Another car that caught my eye is the Lancia Integrale. There's actually two of them here. There's this one and there's a black one, which is closer to where the whole auction thing is going on behind me over there. That's a 1992 Evo, that one, and that's estimated to go up to about 70 grand. Be interesting to see what that sells for. This is a 1991 16 valve, and it's estimated to go for 24,000. I think for that money, that'd be really good. You can't see it through the reflection, but the interior is very clean, black leather, and quite nicely presented. To be honest, the bodywork is pretty cool as well. The white color is pretty iconic, to be honest, isn't it? It needs some martini stripes or something on it. That's easily done, isn't it? Although it's got a little bit of a decal there as well. But other than that, I've got to say, this one would be a very tempting proposition, but a lot of fun. But these cars are also the wheels. Check out the wheels, very cool. But these cars are high maintenance, so be warned. You know, this will cost money to run and maintain and look after. But having said that, wow, come on. Back in the day, would you have imagined a Nissan Sunny hatchback up for auction, potentially up to 18,000 pounds? Yeah, but then this isn't any ordinary Nissan Sunny, is it? This is actually called a Pulsar. We know that's based on a Sunny, but this is a GTIR. So back in the day, this was a hot hatch legend. And look at the size of that exhaust. The white racing wheels on there, pretty much like rally wheels. It's pretty clean, generally okay. It's got bucket racing seats inside, a little bit aggressive. Got Nismo badging on the side. This has definitely been a boy racer for sure, but look at that bonnet, isn't that something? Absolutely bonkers, this thing. 18 grand, I don't know, maybe too much. If you could pick this up for about 12, 13 grand, I think it would be worth it. This S2000 is up for an estimated 18 grand as well. So 18 grand for this, or 18 grand for the Pulsar GTIR? That's a good question. But the high revving craziness of this thing, would suggest that this is the one to go for. It comes with a hardtop as well. Silver, nicely presented, with a stunning red interior, leather, full leather interior. A little bit of scuffing on the driver's side bolster there, but otherwise nicely presented. The 944s are another car that I've always been tempted by, and this one again looks really clean. The bodywork needs a little bit of a polish, but other than that it's not too bad. The interior is very nice. You probably cannot make that out, too many reflections, but I can see it. It's got the part leather cloth upholstery, finished in black, manual, very, very clean, but looks very good. The wheels are fantastic. These are the Fuchs type wheels, so those are pretty cool. But generally, yeah, the bodywork definitely in need of a bit of a polish. However, it's estimated 9 to 12k, so 1989 model. So for that money, I'd do a bit of polishing, wouldn't you? Hot hatches of my era. There's quite a few here in the auction actually. An Escort RS just went for 16 and a half, I think. It just went under the hammer. And then now there's this Fiesta. That's so much of its time, with the stripes and the white and the rally lamps at the front. I mean, really, these were so ubiquitous with boy races in the day. If you couldn't afford an Escort, then you got one of these. This is up for 9 to 11,000 pounds. XR2 Mark II 1985, and then you've got, of course, one of its key rivals, or actually more the Escort's rival, I would say, as the Peugeot 205 GTI. This is a 1.9. But it looks the business, looks the part. The interior is immaculate on this from what I can see. Red carpet, as there should be. Part leather, part cloth interior. That's really nice actually. But these cars, are flimsy, and they can be, so you have to be careful with these cars and just think about them very carefully before you bid for them. Renault 5 GT Turbo, and again another car in white of its day, very much a hot hatch. And very much an icon. Look at that badge, that's just so iconic, isn't it? That's very, very cool. Again, looks reasonably clean. Interior looks to be okay. And this one is estimated to go for between 15 and 18,000 pounds. 122 brake horsepower for this 1990 Renault 5 GT Turbo may not sound like much today, but back in the day, oh my goodness, that would have been a lot. Talking of a lot, check this out. This, of course, Mitsubishi Evo. This one is an Evo 6 GSR, and 1999, and it's estimated at 16 to 20,000 pounds for that one. Again, quite a nicely presented interior. Most of these have got nicely presented interiors. You've always got to be a little bit circumspect though when you see these cars, but that's definitely an interesting car to look at. I wonder if this is a Japanese import, because look at that. That's pretty cool. White rally art mud flaps. Looks like a proper rally car there. This is another very elegant car that has always had me fascinated. And if I had to rock a Mercedes, this is probably the only one that I would consider a 500 or a 560 SEC. This one is a 500 SEC in the blue. The paintwork on this really needs a polish. A lot of scuffs and scratches, a bit of, it really needs to bring the sheen out. The interior looks quite bright and nice. I mean, that seems to be nicely presented. But it's a heck of a thing, a heck of a beast. A long bonnet, flowing car, really, really good. And from that, let's move on to this, Sierra RS Cosworth. Now these are just going crazy right now. I mean, these are the cars of a generation that maybe at the time we didn't think that they would even survive this long, let alone become collectible classics that are rocketing in value. This one is estimated 48 to 53,000 pounds. This is a 1986 car. And then on top of, next to that, you of course have a full rally spec version of the Quattro. Now this is pretty much a race car. It's got the right colors scheme, paint scheme on, livery on it and everything like that. But look at the windows, look at the roll cage. This is totally a rally car. That's a rare thing. Not only is that an unusual color in that pink, but 1972 Holden LJ Tirano GTR XU1, estimate 45 to 50k. You wouldn't think so to look at it. Imported to the UK in 1976. Believed to be one of the first ones built in early 1972. Needs a bit of work, that's for sure, but I'm sure that its rarity and uniqueness and probably the story it has to tell, it'll be something that will keep that car both collectible and its value appreciating. If you like your cars to be colorful, and admittedly I do like colorful cars, but perhaps this is a bit too much even for me, because look at the sheer variety of colors that we have going on with this 1972 VW camper van. I mean, you know, if you want a car that's going to make you smile, then this has got to be the one, isn't it? I mean, just look at it. It is absolutely hilarious. That is just a joy to behold. Whether it's a joy to drive, who cares? I mean, it's just fun, isn't it? Estimate, this is 1976 actually. T2 camper van estimated between 15 and 18,000 pounds. This is the more conventional type over here. In actually more conventional colors, baby blue, two-tone, with the big Volkswagen badge on the front of it. This is a 1965 splitty camper van, estimated. Quite a bit more money, this one, 25 to 30,000 pounds. In addition to the cars that normally are up for auction, that's interesting, there's a patrol back there in a sea of Land Rovers. What is this interloper doing here? This beautiful white Range Rover, that looks quite nice, but all the rest of the Range Rovers here look like they need work or restoration or conversion or something. Maybe they will need to be converted into LS cars. This is a 1998, so it's quite a relatively new one actually, 17 to 21,000 estimate on this Nissan Patrol. Yeah, not bad, looks well worn, looks well used. It's a two-door version, very interesting. This is Bigfoot, or kind of a Bigfoot. This is a pickup truck conversion on a Defender. And over there you have a line of, and again another interloper is a Mercedes G-Wagon I see over there in this lineup of Land Rovers. So every now and then you think you've seen Land Rovers and then suddenly you get a G-Wagon. Oh, look at that, no windscreen, military spec. That's crazy. In fact, they couldn't put the sign in the windscreen because it has no windscreen. It's a 1990 Mercedes G-Class Jeep. It's estimated 22 to 26,000 pounds for this one. That is proper Jeep. This is not the kind of car that you pull up to the Dubai Mall in, that's for sure, even though many G-Wagons do. And their passengers wouldn't be too happy. And there's a Motor Guzzi pickup van there, three-wheeler, check it out. Being the classic car restoration classic car show, I should say, it's no surprise here that there are a lot of absolute candidates for complete and total restorations, including these Jaguars there. That one doesn't even have any tires, it's just sitting on bare wheels over there. I wonder how they even got it in here. They must have had to lift it and drop it off. But there you go. Look at all of these. These need your love and tender care. Although that bright orange 2CV pickup truck or van or whatever is a very cool looking thing. That's quite nicely presented actually. That's ready to go. Very bright. You've been tangoed. This is a very tempting proposition. I mean, this Honda Preludes are really getting collectible now, and that's a really nicely presented one. That's a 1993 car, estimated at about 8 to 10k. So, and I really used to like the interiors of these, very, very unique, with the one sort of line of the dashboard that just sort of swooped across. So cool. Except that this is an automatic. But aside from this, the other car that I would personally consider as a car that I've owned before, 325i SE Coupe. Mine was blue, this one is black. Paintwork needs a little bit of attention, but other than that, that's a very tempting proposition actually. Manual, of course. Very, very nice. I do miss my old E30, that's for sure. And this is a 1989, estimated at 14 to 18. That's actually lower than what they're going in the market right now. Check this out, 1966 Ford Mustang convertible. This one really, really interesting. Look at the color on this one. What's that? That's the stuff you put on your nails, isn't it? I would say. But that's a very keen looking car. These things, they always look better than they are. You have to be really careful with these because you don't know what's going on underneath. That thing just goes on for miles. That's a 1964 Impala, estimated at up to about 18k. But this over here is something that has caught my eye. Carrera 4, I think 911 Targa. You know, to me, if I was to go for a 911, probably be something like this one, I think, especially the Targa. 964, and it's a 3.6 liter. It's estimated 30 to 35,000 pounds. Actually, that's a bit lower than what I would have guessed. I'll be surprised if it goes for that. I'll tell you what, I'd be really tempted by this one. And it's very nice in this white. I know the temptation is to actually paint it black and turn it into a Knight Rider, a kit replica, but actually the white paintwork on this is really, really nice. It looks really clean, this one. This is a 1989 Pontiac Firebird T-top. Estimated at just 12 to 15, it's got the 15,000 pounds. It's got the corduroy upholstery for the interior. The interior actually on these, they tend to look a little bit ropey, but this one looks okay. The buttons and everything are fitting as they should do. Generally, that's quite a nice car overall. I'll tell you what, for the money, that could be a bit of a bargain. There's a little bit of a crack there in the paintwork and the spoiler, but you know, you could buy one of these, and if you really, really did want to convert it, I think it's about £3,000 to £4,000 to convert the exterior and about 5 to 6 to convert the interior. So you're looking at getting this, spend another 10k, and you will have yourself kit if that's what you want to do. You remember the ad for this? I see you, baby, shaking that ass. The ass was very popular or very prominent on this car, and it was basically a selling point on these old Renault Meganes. Why is this one here? This is a Sport 225, and it's estimated for up to 12k, that one. I'm not too keen on that. However, this one, this is a Jordan Edition bright yellow Honda Civic. VTEC, of course. These were to celebrate, I think, when Damon Hill was with Jordan. It's from around that time. This is a 2000 VTI S Jordan spec, estimated 8,000 to 10,000 pounds. Behind you is a spectacular Mark 1, which actually is going to need a lot of work. There's a lot of rust, a lot of cracking on the paintwork on this one. This thing looks a beast. It's so 70s though. Look at the airbrushing finishing on this one. So much rust on this car, I can see it from here. The 1970 Ford Mustang Cobra Jet G-Force, what a name. 30 to 35,000 pounds. And check this out, a Ford Gran Torino. Remember the Clint Eastwood movie? Look at the estate. I mean, this is when wagons really were proper wagons. That's absolutely crazy. And finally, let's end with the Barchetta over here. Again, another car that was kind of odd because you thought it was a rear-wheel drive Alfa Romeo type roadster, and actually it was front-wheel drive. So it's a bit strange in that sense, but a lot of fun. They only came in left-hand drive even when they were officially sold here. Cute little car. This one needs quite a bit of work to its paintwork, that's for sure. Anyway, there is my pick of the cars here at the Classic Car Auctions. Did you buy anything here? Let me know how it went for you.
A big shout out and thanks to Jay Williams over at Air Technic, who are top tier sponsors of Brown Car Guy. Check them out at Air Technic Co UK for exhausts, brakes, suspension and body kits. Plus our other major sponsor, Nayagen Solutions. Much appreciation also to tier 4 sponsors, Muhammad Ali Humaid, Tom Conway Gordon and Reza Adil. And of course all these other guys who supporting on Patreon. Brown Car Guy is eternally grateful. Hey, think about joining them over at patreon.com Brown Car Guy. If you can't, don't worry. Just make sure you're subscribing to the YouTube channel and website. Plus follow on social media by searching for Brown Car Guy.